A member of the university's Board of Regents is receiving some attention after being named in a local high-profile bankruptcy case. Coming up, we'll have all the details on the allegations against Regent John D. Steinmetz.
Some members of the tech community with dreams of becoming their own boss were recently giving a little help with that goal after participating in an annual contest. Find out who were named winners in this year's Red Raider Idea Competition next.
And the Texas Tech men's basketball team hit the hardwood at the USA again last night with hopes of taking home a win. MCTV's Paige Sachse will be in with the details on that game, along with a look around tech, athletics, and sports.
This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Welcome to the Thursday edition of the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Angelina Galvan.
And I'm Uvie Bikomo. A member of Texas Tech's Board of Regents is the target of new allegations being made in a high-profile court case here in Lubbock.
That's right, Uvie. Yesterday, TTU Regent and Vista Bank President John D. Steinmetz was named in court documents filed during the ongoing litigation involving Rager Dykes Auto Group. Back in August of 2018, news broke that Rager Dykes Auto Group was being sued by Ford Motor Credit for creating one of the largest floor plan financing frauds in history of the U.S. At the time, Ford Credit claimed that Rager Dykes had an outstanding balance of $116 million, and the company owed Ford Credit $41 million at the time of the lawsuit. The lawsuit forced Rager Dykes to declare bankruptcy, and 12 employees have faced criminal charges stemming from the financing fraud. Yesterday, Rager Dykes' court-appointed special counsel filed court documents stating that Steinmetz and former Rager Dykes chief financial officer Shane Smith had a side deal that provided Steinmetz with deeply discounted leases on luxury automobiles. The filing also accused Vista Bank of being aware of Rager Dykes' financial fraud and that the banks and its leadership continuously made exceptions for the dealership even though their accounts were often overdrawn. In response to yesterday's court filings, Vista Bank released a statement challenging the accusations in specific response to the allegations made against Regent Steinmetz. The statement says, quote, Mr. Steinmetz paid over $120,000 in lease/buyout payments for the noted vehicles. Even if it was a good deal, West Texans have too much common sense to believe Mr. Steinmetz would have sold his bank out to the tune of millions of dollars in order to save a few thousands on a couple of cars. Steinmetz is a Texas Tech alumni and has served on the Board of Regents since he was appointed by Governor Greg Abbott in January 2017. Steinmetz was named president of Vista Bank in 2007, and he was later named CEO in 2014. At this time, there is no word if an official investigation will take place in light of these allegations against Steinmetz and Vista Bank.
Back here on campus, students passing by the sub today had a chance to learn about a Texas Tech competition team that they might have not known existed. Earlier today, members of the Texas Tech Polo Club spent time in the free speech area outside the sub to bring awareness to the program. Along with the human team members, one of the club's horses was also on campus to help catch the attention of students walking across the campus. Today's event was a chance to attract new members and also invite everyone to the Tech Polo Club Spring Rush Party. During the event, attendees will have a chance to meet the club's members along with their horses, and the club will play an exhibition match. The Tech Polo Club Spring 2020 Rush Party is scheduled for this Saturday at 1 p.m. at the Tech Polo Club barn. Saturday's event is free and open to the public. For more information on the Texas Tech Polo Club, visit their Facebook page at facebook.com/techpolo.
A recent competition held by a campus department is helping some Red Raider entrepreneurs bring their dreams to life. On Tuesday, the TTU Innovation Hub announced that winners of this year's Red Raider Idea Competition. The annual competition is a chance for members of the tech community to pitch any idea for a new product or service using a 60-second video. Participants submitted their videos to the competition, and the community was invited to vote for their favorite idea on the Innovation Hub's website. This year's winner included Go On the Go Auto in first place, VX Med in second place, and Engage Fitness in third place. Each winner received a cash award to use towards Startup Corporation, with first place receiving $2,000, $1,000 for second place, and $500 for third place. The prize money will be presented during the reception that will be held in the Innovation Hub next Friday at 5 p.m. If you would like to see the winning videos along with all the entrants in this year's competition, visit innovationhub.ttu.edu and click the Startup Programs and Events tab near the top of the page. After a warm weekend and a mild start to the week, temperatures have continued to drop as we continue into the week.
That's right, Angelina. Highs have ranged from the low 70s on Sunday to the upper 40s today. So will the cooling trend continue as we end the week? Let's take a look at the MCTV forecast. The MCTV Tower Cam is showing partly cloudy skies today, and the winds have been light all day. Temperatures have stayed cool into the afternoon, and there's a slight chance that we may reach the low 50s before sunset. But overnight, we'll see a slight warm-up in comparison to the last few days, with lows staying at or above freezing. Tomorrow, we'll start to see some changes in temperature, with highs climbing back into the 50s. That warming trend will continue into Saturday, with highs in the upper 60s. We'll also see lots of sunshine on Saturday, so it should make for a good afternoon to get outside. The warmer conditions continue into Sunday, with temperatures topping off above 70. We will see an increase in wind, with speeds reaching as high as 25 miles per hour. Looking ahead, the first week of February should continue our roller coaster of temperatures, with another cold front moving into the area early next week.
With the spring semester underway, many groups on campus are starting to offer options for entertainment for the campus community. Our very own Uvie Bikomo had a chance to sit down with Dori Bosniak from the President's Office to get all the details on this semester's run for the Presidential Lecture and Performance Series.
Hi, I'm here with Dori Bosniak from the Office of the President, and she's here to talk about the first spring performance in the Presidential Lecture and Performance Series. Hi, Dori, how are you?
Hi, good. Thanks for having me.
No problem, of course. So this performance is Steep Canyon Rangers. This is very interesting. They perform a specific style of music called bluegrass. Can you tell me more about that?
Sure. So Steep Canyon Rangers have been around for exactly 20 years. They've been playing for a while. And the bluegrass genre that they play is based in the Appalachian music. It comes from the 30s and 40s, and it has had a large history in 20th century American music. I would compare it to Western swing because that's a genre that's important to Texas because it's based here. The two sort of started out at the same time, but developed kind of separate, even though they both have the fiddle at the heart of the genre. Western swing is not as prominent today. Bluegrass has thousands of bands playing it all the way until today. But Steep Canyon Rangers, they play the progressive version of that, which is not too far off from the traditional bluegrass genre. It only means that they added an additional instrument, which for them is the drums, and they use electronics and not only the traditional instruments, but they're one of the most prominent progressive bluegrass bands today, and they got a Grammy a couple of years ago, and they have a new album out, so they're still going strong.
That's incredible, and like you said, it has a nice country feel to it, new like country feel, and this is West Texas, so it's a good combination to have this band in Lubbock. But also they have a very impressive discography. They performed with Steve Martin, which is incredible. Can you tell me more?
Mm-hmm. They do. They've been playing for about a decade. The band, most of them met in college and they started playing together. And they've been playing for about a decade, sort of still doing their traditional bluegrass. And then they met Steve Martin, and Steve Martin is actually a fantastic banjo player. And so they started playing together. They have on YouTube, if you check the NPR Tiny Music Desk concert series, they have a concert up there, a couple of songs with Steve Martin. It has millions of views. I mean, it's just fantastic. So they play together. They sometimes tour together. And now, don't get too excited. Steve Martin's not going to be here in Lubbock next week. I know, but I mean, who knows? He might surprise us.
Maybe.
But so they still sort of play with him on and off, and they sort of do a different sort of style when they play with him. So it's kind of interesting to see them with and without Steve.
That's incredible. Well, I'm really looking forward to this. And when is this performance?
So the Steep Canyon Rangers are here next week, Friday the 7th at 7 p.m. We will do our show, as we always do, at the Allen Theater in the Student Union building on campus.
That's incredible. This is a band that's been around for decades, as you mentioned. Actually, this year is going to be the end of their second decade as a band, which is incredible. They have a Grammy, and I just think the performance is going to be amazing. So how can people, students, non-students, and just anyone get access to the performance?
Sure. So tickets for the general public are $20, and you can get your ticket at selectaseatlubbock.com or by going to their office in the Civic Center. And for students, if you're a TTU student with a valid ID, you can just go by the Student Union building, find the Allen Theater. There's an East info desk there in the sub. And you can pick up your free ticket with your student ID, and I recommend you do that while we still have them at hand.
Mm-hmm. That's great. So this is just the first performance of the spring semester. How many more do we have?
That's right. We have 2 more after the Steep Canyon Rangers are gone. We have Impact, who are an a cappella vocal jazz pop group. So they are going to be really exciting for us. That's in March 27th. And then April 24th, we have Ranky Tanky, who are coming to us from North Carolina. And they just got a Grammy this past weekend at the Grammys. It's their first Grammy, so it's very exciting.
That is exciting.
I was already excited to call them a Grammy nominee these past couple of months, but now they're our second Grammy winners, I guess, this season. And they do a really interesting fusion of soul and jazz and R&B and funk. I mean, each song is different, but it's all based in the Gullah tradition. So it's just a really interesting fusion, and I'm really excited about them.
That's wonderful. So you have an amazing packed semester coming up. Don't forget, you can go get your tickets at the sub. The performance is going to be on Friday, and it's going to be awesome. Back to you.
After a last-second loss to Kentucky on Saturday, the Texas Tech men's basketball team looked for redemption against another top-ranked team last night in the USA.
MCTV's Paige Sachse joins us with highlights from that game and much more in sports. Paige?
Thanks, Uvie and Angelina. The men's basketball team had a successful night last night against the West Virginia Mountaineers. Davide Moretti scored a career high of 25 points, Terrence Shannon right behind with 23 points, and Jamias Ramsey with 21 points. The Red Raiders kept the Mountaineers at 36% from the field. Coach Beard explained in a press conference how rebounding from Saturday's game showed how competitive the team is. With the team matching a season high of 11 three-pointers and going over 87% in free throws, the Red Raiders got a hard-fought win, 89-81, to the number 12 team. Next up, they will face number 3 Kansas on Saturday at 3 p.m. in Lawrence. You can catch all the action on ESPN. Last Saturday, the Lady Raider basketball team faced a number 1 Baylor team and unfortunately came up short to the reigning national champions 87-79. Brittany Brewer led the team with a season high of 24 points. Lexi Gordon tied her career high of 4 three-pointers and had 5 rebounds and 2 assists. Despite the loss, the Lady Raiders recorded a successful game of stats against a top team in the nation. Up next, they will face Oklahoma State in the USA on Saturday at 3 p.m., and the game will be televised on Fox Sports Southwest. Baseball preseason rankings are coming out, and Texas Tech baseball led the conference with 6 players named to the 2020 preseason All-Big 12 team. These players included Dylan Noisy, Brian Klein, and Braxton Fulford. The pitching staff was also represented with John McMillan, Micah Dallas, and Clayton Beater. Sounds like a great start on an upcoming season, and opening day is set for Friday, February 14th at 1 p.m. against Houston Baptist at Rip Griffin Park. Moving on to the softball preseason rankings, the Lady Raiders softball team earned its first USA Today, NFCA, ESPN, USA Softball, and Softball America recognitions in program history. They were picked as a top 25 team in the country, ranked at number 18 and number 19. Among players getting recognitions, a popular name in the softball world, Carly Hamilton was named a member of the Softball America 2020 NCAA preseason All-American third team. She'll return for her senior season after picking up Big 12 honors from last season. The Lady Raiders season opener is set for February 7th against Houston Baptist in New Orleans. Super Bowl Sunday is this weekend, and this year the game will feel a little different for the Red Raider community as we cheer on a former Tech player, Patrick Mahomes, in his first Super Bowl appearance. The Kansas City Chiefs have a lot of hope and reason to believe they will win the game with Mahomes as a leader for the team. This season they're 27-8 with him behind the line of scrimmage, and as a starter he has never lost a game by more than 7 points. I'm sure most, if not all, the Red Raider community is looking for a Chiefs win, and if they pull out a victory, not only will it be a Chiefs win, but a Texas Tech win as well. And that's all for sports. Back to you, Uvie and Angelina.
Thanks, Paige. So, Angelina, did you have a chance to make it out to the basketball game last night at the USA?
No, I did not. I was at work, but I still was able to watch it. How about you?
No, unfortunately, I couldn't make it out, but I heard about it, and people say it's really good. It was really good, rather. Well, that's all for today's edition of the MCTV Weekday Update.
Thanks so much for joining us, and be sure to check out ttuhub.net every day for more news. We'll see you next week.